up, adventurers? My name is Platinum Phoenix, and welcome back to Ocarina of Time. Last time, we went inside of Lord Jabu Jabu in order to retrieve the last of the spiritual stones, as well as get engaged, I guess. But this time, we're going to be going around and seeing what all we could do before we head back to Hyrule Castle. So first up, I want to run up here and show that there is a gold spatula on this wall at night that we can now get with our newly acquired boomerang. And then next, I actually want to roll this way and go up behind where Lord Jabu Jabu sits. Actually, if we go up here, we can see his tail back here. And I want to go over to this like offshoot of land and roll into this tree to show that there is another gold spatula right here. And actually, how many does this bring us to if we pull up the gear icon? Oh, 28. That's actually really good. We're getting up there in the gold spatula count. But next up, you can see that there's a bombable rock here and a non-bombable rock here. So if we pull out our bombs and bomb this bombable rock, we get a little bit more than we bargained for. Yeah, we blow up the entire side of this wall, which leads to a great fairies fountain. So if we roll up here and go to the Triforce symbol, we can just go ahead and play Zelda's Lullaby like normal. Welcome, Link. I am the Great Fairy of Magic. I will give you a magic spell. Please take it. You got Fiore's Wind. This is warp magic you can use with 1 X, Y, or 2 inside dungeons. Use it once to create a warp point. Use it again to return there. Remember, you can only use Fiore's Wind. You can use Fiore's Wind only inside dungeons, okay? When battle has made you weary, please come back to see me. Alright, Fiore's Wind is an interesting item. As you can see, it's a magic spell, kind of like Din's Fire. In fact, their icons are exactly the same, just with a color swap. But I was debating when I was going to get Fiore's Wind, because you can technically get it as soon as you get to Zora's Fountain. But I opted against getting it early for a couple of different reasons. The first is that it would have felt kind of awkward to get here, and then instead of going into Jabu Jabu, we just kind of went to the opposite side of the fountain. And the other two reasons actually kind of go together. The first is that Jabu Jabu isn't really that big of a dungeon, so creating warp points wouldn't have really been helpful. And most of the time you're carrying around Princess Ruto, meaning that if you use Fiore's Wind, she would not teleport with you and would actually teleport back to where you first found her. But with that being said, I actually really like that she's here now that we saved her. And also, I see very little familial resemblance between the two. But what do you have to say? Did my most precious possession help you in your quest, Teehee? I just came back from the Zora's Fountain, so no, we haven't even been back to the castle, so there's really no way it could have been helpful to us right now. But I want to actually see, I want to say I really like that she's there, and also I find it very funny that she's now sitting in the spot that King Zora was sitting before. But I want to talk to King Zora and see what he has to say.
Oh, so you saved the princess, huh? I really appreciate it.
So, now that the princess is saved, King Zora seems more happy, and Zora's domain seems a lot I guess, calmer, even though it didn't really seem in distress beforehand. But saying that, there's not really that much for us to do here. So I think what we were going to do is actually head back to Lake Hylia, because we kind of just went there, grabbed a bottle, and then came back and didn't really explore around there. So I think we should head back over there. And in Lake Hylia, there's technically only really two directions that you can go to do stuff. You can only go to the left over there or to the right over to that building. But I want to talk to these scarecrows first. I am Bonoru, the scarecrow musical genius. I hear a song once and I never forget it, baby. And then if we go up here, what does this scarecrow have to say? My name is Pierre, the wandering scarecrow. Actually, I wish I could wander to look for soul-moving sounds, but I'm kind of stuck here. So we have a musical genius scarecrow and a scarecrow that wants to move places. So I think we should just pull out our ocarina and play him a little song. I recommend making this song as simple as possible for things that happen later. So I'm just going to play X, 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 Y, 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 and then hit B. Fantastic tune! It touches my heart! If you come up with a nice song, come back here and let me hear it. And you just want to make sure that, one, you play him a song now, as well as you remember whatever you play him for the future. But next thing I want to show is I actually want to pull out my other bottle and put it where Din's fire is, because if we cut this piece of grass, there is bugs here that I want to collect. I thought they disappeared when the sun came up. I was going to be so disappointed. But I just want to fill up basically both of my bottles for things that we will do later on in the episode. But with the bottles filled, our only other thing we need to do is go over to this building. Also, I want to just point out, this lake is huge. Like, just stand over here and look around. Like, there's a tree over there. I don't know if you could see him earlier, but there was the owl standing over there. And this lake is so deep, and you can see like a door under there with pillars. It would be so terrifying if something was swimming in here like Lord Jabu Jabu. I will be honest. But the next thing I want to do is there anything under this rock? Actually, no, there isn't. I want to go over here. Fishing pond. The fish are really biting today. Well, do you want to go fishing for 20 rupees? Yes, I do. Thank you kindly. Here's your rod and lure, young man. Mind the rules and have yourself a good time. Okay, listen up. Walk up to the water's edge and press L to look at a fish. While looking at a fish, you can cast your line with B, press A to break the line. When the lure drops into the water, you can wiggle it with the joystick. If you're a novice, you can also use B. Reel in your lure with A. Hold down A and R to reel it in faster. If you feel a hit, press A and down to set the hook. After that, reel it in with A. Did you understand? Yes, I did. I'm so generous, I'll let you fish for as long as you want. However, you can only keep one fish. The biggest fish ever caught here was 6 pounds. After you cast, you can change your view with L. Let's fish. I actually want to check the biggest fish. The biggest fish ever caught in the pond was 6 pounds. The angler, the pond owner. So, he's the one that caught this fish, which makes sense. He is the only person that we've seen around here and also owns the only lake that you can fish in. Speaking of which, this is the only place that you can actually fish in all of Ocarina of Time. So what we want to do is actually line up kind of with that one log that's arching and then cast our line towards the middle of the pond. You will see there's a fish right here, and we want to try our best to hook this fish in particular. Just get its attention. All right, it decided it doesn't care, so we're just going to reel in and try again. I will mention that I hate fishing mechanics. It is one of my least favorite things in the game, in any game. Mostly because one of the other Legend of Zelda games I played was Twilight Princess, and I played Twilight Princess before I even knew what an Ocarina of Time was. So that game starts you off with fishing, and I despise that fishing game. I didn't even realize how you got the fishing rod to fish because of how confusing the whole start of that game is. But what we are doing now is basically I'm just angling the fishing rod to go the opposite way of the fish as I'm reeling in. And like he said, I am holding R to make the to reel in faster in order to get this fish to me as fast as possible. But he is almost here. And just a little bit more. Come on, fish, stop fighting. What you are trying to do is tire him out to make it so you can just reel it into yourself. And I just need to get him a little bit closer. Wow, this fish is actually fighting a lot. A lot more than I realized these fish could fight. I really thought this would just be get it over to me as fast as possible. Come on. I don't think you can even break the line since I said it. So it's literally just us sitting here until this fish gets here. So I think we're just going to speed up until this fish decides it actually wants to be caught. Finally! That took so long. Wow, this is a real lurker. Let's see, it's 10 pounds. Do you want to keep it? Yes, I do. I also have to admit, the first time I played this game, I completely messed up the controls for fishing and was pressing B to try to reel in, and definitely just let the line break because I tried to set the line with B and not A. But what do you want to do? Let's weigh my fish. Whoa! This fish is huge. It looks like a new record. It's at least 10 pounds. Seriously? Okay, here's your prize. And for getting the 10-pound fish, we get a piece of heart, giving us our 9th heart container. Yeah, I misspoke last episode when I said 9 hearts. Oh, I guess we also need to return the rod. Sorry, man. I want to quit. Here's your rod back. Thanks, bye. All right, over on this side of the lake, we have the Lakeside Laboratory, daily trying to get to the bottom of the mysteries of Lake Hylia, lake scientist. So if we go inside, hello there, son. I'm researching the process of making medicine by mixing Lake Hylia's water with various unusual components. Perhaps you'll meet an old lady that's from the potion shop. She is like a student of mine. Ho, ho, ho. So there's not much we can actually do in here right now, but you can probably notice this giant tub of water with rupees at the bottom. We need to keep this in mind as well. But there's not much we could do. There are several things in here that are really cool to look at, like this Octorok that's kind of just suspended in here. It kind of looks sad with its tentacles up against the glass. But since there's not a whole ton to do in here, I think we're just going to go out and immediately play the sun song to make it nighttime again. Because there are actually 2 more gold Scotulas that we can collect right here. We can first bring over my fairy slingshot and go onto this bridge to show that on the back of the scientist's house is one of the gold Scotulas that we can shoot. And then we can use our... I said we can use our target boomerang. Boomerang. Thank you. Like 15th times the charm. But the other one is slightly less obvious. We can come over here to this dirt patch and drop the bugs onto it. This is the reason I wanted to grab the bugs over by Pierre. But with the bugs, we can charge up a spin attack to show that if you use a fully charged spin attack, you can actually take out the gold Scotulas in one hit. And that, I believe, brings us up to a nice even 30 gold Scotulas. And the other thing I want to do with this dirt spot is actually grab my magical beans and plant one here. But with that, that's really everything there is to do in Lake Hylia. So we are just going to exit the lake going out this direction. And what does the sign say, actually, now that I think about it? I don't know if I've ever read this one. Hyrule Field. Thank you for being a very straightforward sign. Can I cut it? No, okay. All right, back out to Hyrule Field. What I want to do is actually climb up this ladder and jump in between all of those fences that are down there. Also, I want to check to make sure that the other ladder that lets us go up here is there. But down in this fenced off area, we will get a notification from our Shard of Agony. And I just want to pull out our bombs once again and blow up this area to show that there is a hidden grotto right here with a business scrub, which apparently we need. I'm just going to pull out the fairy slingshot. It'll be easier. We'll just target and then, oh, actually we could use the boomerang too. I didn't realize we could use the boomerang. And what are you selling? All right, fine. You win. In return for sparing me, I will sell you a piece of heart. 10 rupees is it? It is. Let's make a deal. Okay. Thank you very much. And for just coming down here and hitting this guy with the boomerang, we get another piece of heart. 2 pieces of heart. Very close together. But next up, we are kind of just going to be running across Hyrule Field. But I do want to bring up, there is technically another enemy that is native to Hyrule Field. As you can see, it's up there. That is a P-Hat. P-Hats will activate when you get close to them. And what you need to do is shoot the bottom portion of it underneath the propeller spinning, if I can actually get a good view. It's that part right there at the bottom. You can see that as we're hitting it, it hurts it. Oh, thank you for the magic jar. But the other enemies that it is spitting out are P-Hat larvae. And those are basically fast, small versions of the P-Hat. Hello, Running Man. Goodbye, Running Man. I don't have time to deal with you right now. We have other things to do. But the P-Hat larva will basically just chase you down. And if they hit you, they will deal you damage. Basically, you just want to shoot them with the fairy slingshot whenever you're able to. And locking onto them and shooting them is very effective. But I basically like avoiding them as much as possible because it's just the easiest way. But next up, I want to head up here. Into Lon Lon Ranch. And I love that cutscene in like the dust. It's such a pretty cutscene. We are just going to cut these vases down. And we could have actually come here very early. In fact, as soon as you leave the Kokiri Forest, you can come here. But a lot of things are locked until you have the boomerang. So I wanted to wait till now to come here. But in here, we have a ton of Cuckoos. Again, I'm once again wrong. But there's a reason this time. Mumble, mumble, huh? I'm awake already. What? Well, I'll be if it ain't the forest kid from the other day. By the way, thanks a lot for waking me up. It took some doing, but I finally got Malin back in a good mood. So, what are you up to today? Got some free time on your hands? You say? Well, how about a little game? These 3 Cuckoos I have here are special super Cuckoos. I'm going to throw these Cuckoos into that gaggle of normal Cuckoos. If you can pick out the 3 special birds from among the normal Cuckoos within the time limit, I will give you something good. If you can't find them, I win. It'll be 10 rupees. Want to play? Yes, I do. You have 30 seconds. Alrighty then. Get ready. Here are the Super Cuckoos. Start looking. And you basically have to keep an eye out for which way he throws them. And go and run to where the 3 Cuckoos are. The other thing is there's no actual penalty for picking up the wrong Cuckoos. Also, I have no idea how you tell apart the Super Cuckoos from the unsuper Cuckoos. So I just go based off of picking them up and throwing them into the pot. And eventually you will pick up all three of them, or throwing them into the pile of hay, and eventually you will pick up all three of them. He gives you 30 seconds. It should be enough to pick them up and throw them into a corner. Golly, I'll be darned. It's plumb incredible. That's the last one. You found them all. Come on over here. Hey, you've got the talent to be one of the world's best cowboys. How'd you like to marry Malin, huh? I'm sorry to tell you, but I think I'm engaged. I was just kidding. I think you're a little young for that, aren't you? Well, I'm proud to present to you a sample of our very own Lon Lon milk. You'll be energized in a moment you drink it. After you drink it, you can bring back the bottle and buy a refill anytime you want. And with that, we get Lon Lon milk. This milk is very nutritious. Use it with 1, X, Y, or 2 to recover your life energy. You will recover 5 hearts per drink. There are 2 drinks per bottle, effectively giving us 10 full hearts of recovery. But next up, I want to head up here and go into this little side room to show that it's kind of like their little house up here. You can see that there's a couple of shoes. The small shoes are Malins, the big shoes are Talons. But the most important thing I want to show up here is right over here behind these pots. If we go in first person, there's a cute little drawing of Malin and Talon up here. It's so cute. Also, if we go over, I believe it's somewhere in this room. I just forget which corner it's actually in. All right, I spent a couple minutes running around up here looking for what I was trying to look for. I realized it doesn't actually appear here right now, so we have to wait a little bit longer to actually see what I was about to talk about. But with that, we are just going to head on out of the Kuko house and head over here to this building. I can't believe I, the great Ingo, am working on this dump of a ranch. Because the owner is so lazy, I always have to do all the work around here. I, the hardworking Ingo, should be in charge, not that lazy bum Talon. So, the most astute among you may have noticed that Talon is wearing red and this guy is wearing green. They are, in fact, references to Mario and Luigi. Talon being Mario and Ingo being Luigi. I just think it's a really cool detail that the two, I guess, I don't think they're brothers, but the two ranch hands are based off of Mario and Luigi, which is just another callback, or Easter egg. Let's call it Easter egg to the Mario series. But now I just want to run around and collect a few of the gold Skulltulas that we can. The first is up there on that roof, which I actually want to target with my slingshot and then boomerang so we can get. The next one, I believe, is right over here if we roll into this tree. After that, we want to run all the way to the back of this like horse track around the fence, because on the back of this like stable type thing is another gold Skulltula, which we can just cut. And then finally, there is that giant tower over there, and if we roll over to it, you can see that there is a gold Skulltula over here on this wall that we could shoot down. And I actually have to use the... Get away from me! These enemies are called guys, I believe. They are basically just rip-off keys. They're the keys that live in the overworld, because bats apparently don't live in the overworld for some reason. But we can just take out that last gold Skulltula and get our last gold Skulltula token for the Lon Lon Ranch. And I believe Yes, that brings us up to 34. But next up, I want to head into this tower to show that this is actually where the cows stay. And we have a lot of boxes here. So the first thing I actually want to do is move this box over and move this box over. And we are basically just trying to arrange the boxes in a way that we can move the one in the corner out of the way. So next up, I want to move this one over here so that we can move this one over here. And then I want to move this one over here. Also, you can see that Link is still having just as much trouble moving these wooden crates as he did the giant metal one. So I don't know what the Goron braces actually did. I guess you could argue that these are like full of milk crates or something, which makes them heavier, but I'm not sure about that. But behind the one in the corner is actually an opening. If I could get inside. And you can already see what our prize for doing this is. Yet another piece of heart. 3 pieces of heart for another episode. That is 3 out of the last 4 episodes that we've gotten at least 3 pieces of heart. It is insane how quickly we are picking up each piece of heart. But with that, there's really only one more thing left to do in Lon Lon Ranch. Alright, I went ahead and made it daytime again because I wanted you to listen to the song of Lon Lon Ranch as we were heading back here. Yeah, you may have recognized the melody as Epona's song once again, sung by Malin, who's just kind of standing here. Oh, it's you, Fairy. It's you. It's the Fairy Boy again. I heard you found my dad. How did you like the castle? Did you see the princess? Hee hee. Dad came home in a hurry after you found him. Hee hee. Oh yeah, I have to introduce you to my friend, Fairy Boy. She's this horse. Her name is Epona. Isn't she cute? She seems to be running. It seems that Epona is afraid of you, Fairy Boy. Yeah, so no matter what we do, if we run after Epona, she kind of just runs away from us. So what we need to do is actually talk to Malin again. My mother composed this song. Isn't it nice? Let's sing it together. And once she said, let's sing it again together, we need to bring out our ocarina. Oh, cute ocarina. Are you going to play this song with that ocarina? You learned Epona's song. And now that we have played Epona's song, Epona will literally follow us all over this place. You can see that she's trotting around and she'll follow us. It's actually really cute, but I want to talk to Malin one more time. Oh, Epona, she's grown fond of you, Fairy Boy. It's also very cute that Malin was like, oh, Epona doesn't like you very much. Let's sing. But the other thing I want to point out is just how cute is Epona compared to these other horses. Like, Epona's just like this cute little pony, and then we have like these massive hulking horses that they have. Like, they're easily twice as tall as Link is. It's kind of crazy. But I think that's all we're gonna do for this episode. So I hope that everyone enjoyed watching. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Next time, we head towards the castle to see if Zelda can help us with the spiritual stone. But until then, happy adventuring.